How to attract a man after 40. Let's face it, after 40, the dating pool is thin. If you're 40 and above, you probably have less than 40 years to live, going by the global average lifespan. Let me share with you some 7 dating tips after 40. Number 1, age. Don't be overbothered by age. You know, the ideal situation is where the man is older than the woman with 1 to 3 years, the ideal situation. But the reality is, once you hit 40, you can't go by that ideal situation. You may get a guy who is plus or minus 10 years. Plus or minus 10 years. It doesn't matter. His age does not matter. What matters is whether he's mature and responsible. Can he lead you? How do you get to know whether someone is responsible? Answer, check his past. Get to figure out what has he achieved. By the way, if a guy has never married, is not divorced, what has he done with his life for the last 40 years? Has he bought his mother a house, himself a house? What has he achieved in his career life, in his business? That is a very good yardstick to know whether a man is responsible or not. You've got to check whether this guy is ready and willing to lead you. Age doesn't matter. Maturity matters. And maturity does not come with age. Often than not, maturity comes alone. Tip number two, education. His level of education does not matter. Don't be bothered because someone is less educated than you are. You may have a college degree or a master's degree, and this guy has a diploma or even high school education. What matters is he secure in his own skin. Is he comfortable with your achievements? Is he civil, cultured, well-mannered? Does he have etiquette? Is he kind, gentle, good? Does he have good manners? Can he provide? That's the ultimate question. If a man can't provide to his family, he will struggle with self-esteem. Often than not, women's self-esteem is derived from who they love. Men's self-esteem is derived from their ability to provide. Men derive their identity from what they do. If a man can't provide to you, eventually there will be acrimony in that marriage. You will not be happily married. He will struggle to find his place. He will project his woes and frustrations to you. He will vent his anger to you. So make sure this guy can provide. That should be your concern. Much, much, much more than his level of education. Number 3, time. Don't waste your time at all. State your objectives early in the relationship. For example, if you meet a guy on a dating site, be very sure you have stated your objectives early in the relationship. Don't even meet him if his interest is not settling down. In fact, if I were you, right on the very first date, I'll make it clear I'm looking for someone who is ready to settle down. Don't waste your time. And in fact, let the guy know this. You are open to dating other men. So long as he has not committed, he can't stop you by creating false hopes from dating or seeing other guys. Be open to other relationships until someone puts an engagement ring on your finger. Don't waste a second. In fact, if his interest is not settling down, don't even meet him on the very first date. Don't waste your time. Number 4, status. Figure out his status. Find out whether this guy is married, divorced, widowed, or he has never married. And even if he has never married, find out about his previous relationships. Is this guy a man who had 2 or 3 or 4 girlfriends? And what happened in those relationships? If a man has divorced once, I can understand. Stuff can happen to any of us. But if a man has divorced 3 or 4 times, I wouldn't marry him. All these women can't be wrong. And you are the only right one. There is something fundamentally wrong with him. I repeat, someone can make a mistake once. But if you repeat the same mistake, it's no longer a mistake. It's a decision. That's who he is. So what I suggest now, tell him about your past status. Disclose whether you're a virgin, whether you used to be married, whether you're widowed, whether you are in a relationship that broke down. You know, when a man discovers something later about you, he lacks trust. So put all the cards on the table and demand him to put all the cards on the table. Get to know about his previous relationships and whether he has closed down the chapter and is ready to open a new leaf with you. Number 5, children. Children are an important decision point. Figure out whether this guy has children. And if he was married, if he had children in marriage, did he have children outside wedlock? There's nothing wrong with how many children he has and where they are. This is his past. But get to know. Get to tell him also about your past. Do you have children or not? And do you want to get future children with this guy? Or have you closed down the chapter of children? Does he want children? If none of you has children or one of you has children, do you want children together? Or do you want to bring your children and his children and that's sufficient? You work with what you already have. But you can't ignore the factor of children in a family. Children play a very major role. And he needs to come to terms with the fact that he's adopting some children or you're adopting some children. Then this is going to be somehow a blended family. And we need to create some equilibrium, some harmony in our new status. Number 6, money. Money is a major issue that a lot of people ignore. But it divides marriages, it divides couples, it divides families. Let's face it. The ideal situation is when you come together as a couple. There is nothing like his money or her money, but our money. Our house or our houses, our car or our cars, everything we should have together. That's the ideal situation. That's the Bible. The Bible way is not about your money and her money and his money, but our money. Scripturally speaking, we are joint heirs as life partners. We are not equal heirs. From the laws of the land in any country, we are equal heirs. That's why when couples divorce, any court of law will divide the property 50-50. That's the law of the land, equal heirs. But from a biblical perspective, we are joint heirs. What's the difference? Equal heirs means we divide 50-50. I own 50%, he owns 50%. But joint heirs means I own 100% of what he has, and he owns 100% of what I have. So whatever I had before I got married, whatever he had before he got married, we bring down to one pool. It's all our assets. That's the ideal situation. Lady, let's face it. This may not work for you. It works for me and my mercy. Why? 1, that's the marriage principle we live by. Number 2, we met when we had nothing. We met when we were college students. So this ideal situation might not work with you. He may decide there's a house I had bought before we got married and I want it to belong to my children, the ones I got before I got married. And that is his right. So discuss the assets and agree. Clearly matters money, so that you don't have to fight over money later on. Talk about it right now. Number 7 and the last one, sex. Now, a lot of people don't discuss sex, but there are 4 things I want to touch about sex. Number 1, it is whether this guy is sexually healthy. And I'm not just talking about having STDs or HIV/AIDS, though that's part of it. You must go for HIV testing together. That's not something to discuss about. Because I expect when you get married, if somebody is not HIV positive, I don't expect you to be using condom in your marriage. So you need to go for this testing. But more importantly, you need to figure out whether he is sexually capable. What do I mean by that? If this guy is not divorced, he's not widowed, he has not had girlfriends before, you need to be cautious whether he has erectile dysfunction. Very many ladies write to me saying my guy could not perform for 3 years. Others waited for 6 years. A lady wrote to me 2 months ago, 6 years in their marriage. They never once had any successful sexual encounter. Not once. Both of them Christians, born again, going to heaven, but their marriage could not continue. So you need to ask some questions. You need to really figure out whether this guy is sexually healthy. Number 2 about sex, you need to agree about sexual frequency. That sounds funny, but marriage and sex are inseparable. Sex is not a side issue in marriage. It is a central issue. Marriage is about intimacy and companionship. Maybe both of you have children and you don't need more children. Children don't complete a marriage. Children are part of a family. They are not part of a marriage. For me, I believe any healthy marriage, unless you're too old or too sick, any healthy couple should have at least sex 4 times a week, at least 4 times. So it's important to discuss how he perceives about sex. What is his view about sex? Number 3, discuss about extramarital affairs. Agree about covenants. It is so strange that a lot of people coming into marriage never discuss morality. They assume it's obvious. You should not cheat on me. I should not cheat on you. We should not check out of our marriage. A lot of marriages are built on assumptions. I'm asking you right now, eliminate assumptions and tell this guy clearly that once you get married, you do not expect him to cheat on you at all. Let him know cheating on you is a deal breaker. Let him know that if he cheats on you, it's over. State it clearly. Don't imply, don't assume that this is common sense. And that's where you need to discuss. Now you have your phone, I have my phone. Once we get married, you no longer have a phone. It's our phone. We will be using the same password for our phone, for our emails. We have to be transparent and open, naked and not ashamed. We cannot say we are married and we are running separate affairs. We have to disclose, we have to be accountable and transparent to one another. And the 4th thing about sex, you've got to tell him we have to wait until our wedding night. We are not rushing into this thing until the day you give me my wedding ring and you make vows publicly. Anyway, you have waited for 40 years. Why can't you wait for a few more weeks, for a few months? Why should you wait? Often the not when people rush into sex before marriage, into casual sex. Casual sex is any sex without covenants. If you sleep together before your marriage vows, then you have opened a Pandora's box. You have told this guy it's okay to have sex without commitment. It's okay to have sex outside of marriage covenants. This guy will cheat on you. You will complain, and you are the mentor. You are the one who permitted him to cheat on you. You are the one who told him it's all right to have casual sex. It's all right for us to sit together with no covenant, with no lasting commitment. That's the reason I normally tell couples, dating is not a time for sex. Dating is a time for gathering information. It's a time to get to know who you are dating, what you're committing yourself to. Hey, listen to me, lady. Don't act in panic. So long as you respect yourself, you honor yourself, you will get married. Women of virtue are very rare gems. Every serious, responsible, mature man is dying for a virtuous woman. And let me tell you this, men know the line between a call girl and wife material. The more they realize you are a noble woman with character and you're keeping yourself well, you're taking care of your nails, your hair, your skin, you're dressing, you have etiquette, you are well-mannered, you're cultured. This man dies to have you. I hope these points have helped you. Please, if you have benefited from this video, share it with your family, your friends, your colleagues, and more so ladies who are 40 years and above. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you get notified whenever I upload new videos. In fact, ring the bell. When you ring that bell, every time I upload a new video, you get notified. And I upload new videos every week. Give me a comment. Let me know what you learned from this video. Thank you very much. The Lord bless you. May the Lord come through for you. You are going to write to me a testimony. I know you're going to drop down a comment, a testimony in the coming few months. Thank you. I love you very much, and God bless you.